Hello. 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 Oi.
Pope Benedict, he had
Yeah.
the craziest past because he was charged with moving priests around that had committed atrocities.
Yeah.
And he moved one to a place where they molested 100 deaf kids.
What?
Yes. Google that.
100?
100
Deaf
kids got molested by this one priest that he had moved when I believe when he was a cardinal.
You don't hear him coming. That's the problem.
Jesus. You can't even help yourself.
Cut it out.
Son of a
Cut it out.
bitch.
That is, but the new one's supposed to be chill, right?
Nah, the Catholic Church is fucking warped. So warped. So warped now. It's kind of scary. Fucking disturbing.
Take it down a notch, so the new one got, fucking a regular throne. It's like, this gold throne's a little outdated.
And he's like pro-gay marriage and all that
stuff.
Yeah.
That's nice.
A little
more than 100. 200 deaf kids. Oh my god. The priest might have molested 200 deaf boys. Top Vatican officials, including future Pope Benedict the 16th, did not defrock a priest who molested as many as 200 deaf boys, even though several American bishops repeatedly warned them that failure to act on the matter could embarrass the church, according to the files recently unearthed as part of a lawsuit. Imagine your concern is embarrassing the church, not that this guy is fucking kids. Imagine.
Yeah, we don't want the church to look bad.
Imagine your concern, and not one guy, but multiple bishops, right?
Yeah. It's nuts. Have you been to the Vatican, by the way?
Yes, on edibles.
Shit is dark.
I went there on edibles.
Did you?
Yeah.
That shit creeped me out, dude. The whole time I was like, I don't like this at all.
Multiple bishops, right?
Yeah. It's nuts. Have you been to the Vatican, by the way?
Yes, on edibles.
Shit is dark.
I went there on edibles.
Did you?
Yeah.
That shit creeped me out, dude. The whole time I was like, I don't like this at all. I just didn't like the fact that they were like, we have our own cops.
Well, no extradition.
We can do whatever we want.
They're basically a country.
They have their own bank.
City.
Yeah. Oh, their own rules, their own laws.
And there's a bunch of people in there that people would like to try.
Yeah.
They would like to pull them out of there and try them.
Can't do it.
For crimes against humanity.
Protected. You saw that documentary about the little girl that went missing from the Vatican?
No.
No?
No.
I don't even know what it's called, Jimmy. If the girl who went missing is what I think my instinct is saying, but it's about a resident. You know, there's a small amount of residents that live in the Vatican walls in Vatican City. Her family was one of them. And this has got to be, I don't know, 30 years ago. She went missing. And the story is fucking wild.
Yeah, it's called Vatican
Girl.
I just Googled it 2 days ago. It says they reopened the case, so I don't know.
Dude, you have to watch this. It's bananas.
What do they think happened?
Well, there's a bunch of different conspiracies. There's a bunch of different, there is kind of a somewhat clear-cut answer in it, but there's multiple points where even they go, I don't know. This may come from multiple avenues of this being a very well-coordinated thing, like a kidnapping, and it's crazy. And they just reopened it up.
Kidnapping from someone who lives in the Vatican?
I don't want to tell you.
The family lived there. It says there might have been a kidnapping, the blackmail, the Pope at the time.
There's a bunch of different theories, and as you watch it, they talk about multiple theories about, what it's like. But also, the crazy thing is, you'd think if you lived in the Vatican, you're living on, high on the hog. No. These people were like commoner, lower class to lower middle class. It's not because they're in there. You're not like automatically, living like a king. If you're just a citizen.
So were they help? Did they work there?
Yeah, they were workers.
Oh, so the workers lived there.
But they don't treat them any kind of. It's like they all live pretty, modestly, and your family's born into it, so you're kind of born in it. And this girl she would go to a school outside of the Vatican walls, like a performance art school, if I'm not mistaken, and a regular route from there to there, there to there, there to there, and then one day.
Oh, here's why. The Pope's longtime secretary is about to release a book this week,
Ruh-roh.
and that's why they may have it. He says he's got information on this, and he come out the book.
About that girl.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. It's wild. This was 2 days ago. This just started popping up.
Yeah.
I don't care if I didn't see it.
Vatican reopens investigation.
That's her. Yeah, Emanuela
1983 she went missing.
Orlandi. 40 years ago.
They've gotten away with so much.
Sketchy.
They've gotten away with so much.
So sketch.
I mean, I know everybody wants to concentrate, and rightly so, on Epstein Island.
Yeah.
But how about the Vatican?
Uh,
How about
Yeah.
just the entire? You could be a person who doesn't know how to read, and you know that priests fuck kids.
Uh-huh. Someone that's barely heard of it is like, oh, I did hear about those guys.
Everybody knows
Yeah,
that
dude.
that's a problem.
Yeah.
It's not like NASCAR drivers. It's like, imagine if NASCAR drivers were known for molesting children. You'd be like, that is cool. Why is that still a thing?
It's part of a culture, man.
Forever, people knew that priests fuck kids.
100%.
It's never happened to me, but I've had multiple friends that were in Catholic school. They
Yeah.
got chased by a priest. This one guy went on a retreat with this priest. The priest made him sleep in bed with him, and he was like chasing him around the room.
No.
And he had to like literally fight off the priest and scream, and he wouldn't give in.
What was the name of the movie that exposed all that stuff? About the newspaper. Mark Ruffalo? What? Am I crazy? Why can't I think of the name of that fucking,
Boston newspaper?
Yeah. Yeah.
Bro,
But it was a real story where the Boston Globe, Spotlight, and they went out of their way to expose him. Or in real life, they made a movie about it, but it's like, didn't even go do anything. Didn't do shit.
That's so crazy.
A credible newspaper was like, we have unbelievable amounts of evidence. And still, it's like, well, what are you going to do?
They don't even lose their tax-free exemption.
I know. Nothing happens.
The tax-free thing is wild, because when Scientology got it, you're like, yo,
Mhm.
like, what is this? What is this thing? You get no taxes if you claim that you're a religion?
Yeah.
Do you know how many fucking religions that people
This is a religion. You could say your show is a religion. But there you go. You have loyal listeners,
So what? It's just conversations.
but that could be a
There's
religion.
no rules.
How do you apply to make a religion? Look it up. I'm serious.
Listen, stop fucking with me.
This is a religion. You know it is. You know it's like an inch away from being one. You could just say, you have followers, they listen to you, they like what you put out. Doesn't mean you have to have some sort of like spiritual ideology. Religion could be anything.
Mm.
This could slot as a religion. For sure. It just means a bunch of people listen to, a uniform thought process. If you put out like a continual thing, I don't think you need a book. I don't think you need shit.
You know Alex Gray,
Uh-uh.
the visionary artist? I'm sure you've seen his work.
Okay.
On every dorm room wall of someone who smokes weed, they have an Alex Gray poster.
It's Jad or Justin Bua, the piano guy. You've seen that was also in the dorm rooms.
This is Alex Gray.
Yeah.
You've seen his work. Well, Alex Gray started a religion, like a legitimate religion. Like he's a real, like really spiritual person. Like legitimately, when you meet him, you're blown away. He's the real deal. And he has a church that he built that is designed around his art. And he
Wow.
got tax exempt status. It's called Entheon. That's the church. Like this is the place. Like how amazing is that?
Where is that?
It's in upstate New York. So he bought land and then he set it up for a church, made it tax exempt. You guys see what it looks like on the outside. I mean, this is the inside. It's fucking gorgeous because it's a church that's designed by an amazing artist.
Whoa.
That's the outside of it. Look at that. Entheon. Play that video. Yeah, go full screen, please. It's amazing.
Oh my god.
And this guy's been an incredible artist forever. But the first time he came on the podcast, he had just
How's it going? Finally, someone not calling one of these mixes breakcore. This is thank you. Does anyone want to hear my crazy Vegas stories? Anyone even on here? No. One person, but they left. Okay, well, whatever. I'll just win this fucking tournament right in front of your very own fucking eyes, and then everyone will be like, how did you do it? Yeah, shut up. Do I still have my videos of me winning, or did I delete them all? I think I deleted them all. Oops. Yeah, I deleted them all. Oops. Oh, no, wait, no, I didn't. Here we go. Oh, wow, look at me. This is right before I fucking died. Oh. You got no clue how lucky you are. Oh shit, look at me fucking falling asleep. Fuck. Oy. Whoa. Yikes. That's creepy looking. Yeah. I can't watch that. That's my dog. Oh, Xena, we'll be reunited one day. Yep, if I'm gonna kill somebody, it's gonna be that girl. I'm gonna fucking slit her fucking throat, throw her in a gutter. Might chop her up. But what I'll probably do is find a waste fucking, I don't know, management plant and dump her body in a fucking pool of shit. Fucking evil bitch. Fucking bitch. Kill my fucking dog. Let's go, dude. Death. Death on the felt, bitch. That's for my dog, kid. Give me your money now. Yeah. Oy. Should not do that with middle pairs, but whatever. Fuck you.
Just try to get your head around this. An ordinary bloke, a father of 4 from Melbourne, who wins $15 million playing cards. 10 million in one game alone. That's Joe Hasham, Diamond Joe. And he's not the only one who's hooked. Since his big win, there's been a poker revolution down at the club, on television, on the net, and in ordinary suburban homes right round the country. Everyone, from kids to grannies, has caught the bug.
It's the new fucking moneymaker era. It happened in the early 2000s, and I feel it's happening now. The next boom, and I'm fucking ripe for it. I'm an adult now. I better win this shit though, or I'm gonna be fucking angry. I'm gonna drink fucking 20 bottles. Yeah, I can't be listening to the sad D&B jungle music. I can listen to that after I kill everybody. There'll be time to cry after you stick their sword in their fucking chest. You can cry afterwards about all the horrible stuff you had to do. It's not good to be upset while you're doing it. Afterwards, you can be like, geez, I'm such a terrible person, my God. That's the gangster way. Wow.
Chess friends, couple of weeks ago I uploaded a video where I sacrificed my knight or bishop in the opening against Magnus Carlsen. Those videos was very enjoyable, and today AlphaZero played with world champion Magnus Carlsen. He sacrificed his rook early and the game become very insane. Let me show you the game. Alpha started with a4. It is called we're opening. He wants to bring his rook like this and sacrifice his rook on a good square to easily attack the black king. d5 by Magnus. Rook up to a3. Magnus played e5, targeting on the rook, and grabbing center and space with e5. We have rook slide to f3, knight comes to f6. Here Alpha sacrificed his rook by capturing a knight, queen takes rook. It is about -4 advantages for black. White needs so many developing moves. Go get active on the game. Here AlphaZero chooses to play d3, knight comes to c6. We have e5, d captured pawn, d captured e4, queen goes to g6, targeting on this pawn, and Magnus can play bishop before check, forcing white to play c3, and blocking the knight's entry point. So we have knight to d2, try to protect this pawn, and getting rid from this bishop check. Bishop goes to c5, Magnus can play f5 on his next move, followed by castle, try to open up the rook's file and creating some pressure on f-file. Knight goes to f3, we have castle. Magnus is threatening to play f5, we have c3. Alpha wants to play b4, or starts pushing his pawn on h-file, so a5 by Magnus, queen up to c2, bishop goes to e6, knight goes to h5, queen comes to g5. Knight back to f3, queen on g6, we have knight h4 again, repetition move, queen goes to h6, knight back to f3, rook f goes to d8, bishop up to e2, queen slides on g6, targeting on this pawn, so knight to h4 again, queen slides to f6, targeting on this pawn with bishop, and threatening the knight at the same time, so Alpha brings back his knight, queen back to e7, knight goes to b3, bishop back to b6, knight comes here to g5, targeting on this bishop, Magnus takes the knight with his bishop, we have queen takes b3. Alpha is threatening to play knight takes pawn. Let me show the variation. If black plays very ordinary move, rook to b8, then Alpha will take the pawn, knight takes f7. If you think, wow, I will a free knight, queen takes f7, no it's not, because after bishop to c4, the queen will be pinned to the king, and you are gonna lose your queen and the game. So, back to the position, Magnus played h6, kicking out the knight first. Alpha played knight takes f7 anyway, because he knows that queen takes knight isn't possible. Because of bishop c4, it will destroy your queen. So, here Magnus played bishop takes f2, best move. Unfortunately you cannot the bishop. Let me show you why. If king takes happen, then queen takes f7, targeting the queen with a check. You have to take the queen, and after that black will win the game at the end game, because he have a rook for a knight. So, back to the position, we have king to f1, instead of taking the bishop. In this position, best move is to play rook f8, let me show it. If rook f8 be played, targeting on the knight, if you play king takes bishop, then rook takes check. After king g3, black have some points of advantages if he play correctly. At the human level it is almost equal, but at the computer level, black have advantages. So, back to the position, the knight have no square to run. Best move is to take the pawn, creating double check to the king. King slides to h8, knight comes to f5. This targeting the queen and the bishop, so bishop goes back to h4. The knight can't take the queen, because it's pinned to the king. Black will play g6 to target this, and at this point, black holds some advantages. But in the game, Magnus played queen takes knight, ignoring the threat. Bishop to c4, we have bishop to c4, targeting the queen. Rook comes here to d1, king up to e2, rook takes rook. Alpha played bishop takes queen check, king goes to h7. If you take the bishop, then black will take your bishop. So, Alpha played bishop to e6. We wants to play bishop f5 check, because these light squares are super weak for black. Rook goes to f8, bishop to f5 check, king back to h8. We have queen takes b7, targeting this, and this, knight goes to e7. If you try to take it, let me show it. Queen takes c7, then knight takes, rook takes, king takes, rook takes check, and white have a queen for 2 rooks, and this position is almost equal. So, in this position, Alpha played absolutely brilliant move. You can pause the video. The move is not hard to find. Alpha played bishop takes h7, sacrificing a bishop. If you take the bishop, then king takes bishop. The point is that white win a pawn, and makes black's structure and king position terrible. When you are losing, it's important to keep your most pieces alive and avoid trading. So here Magnus brings back his bishop, bishop back to d2. We have rook g1, king up to f3, g6. We have g3, pawn takes h4, pawn check, king takes e4.
Wait, what happened?
Wish you all the best. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more. Bye bye, take care, see you soon.
Well, I did a little better. It's 30th out of fucking 200 people. Better than 50, I guess. We're slowly but surely. Surely, slowly. Min placing. Oh. At least I made $2. Yay.
Franchise slashers one after the other, year after year. By 1995, we were already on our 7th Nightmare on Elm Street, the 9th Friday the 13th, the 6th Halloween, and at a certain point, they all just started to blur together. Then, in 1996, Wes Craven had come along and expertly dismantled that entire subgenre in what should have been the final nail in that moldy old coffin.
Like scary movies. What's the point? They're all the same.
And it would, of course, be resurrected not too long after, as slashers always are. But there was this brief window where it seemed like all that aggressive energy of the time, all that pent-up 90s angst that the period is so well known for, began to burn out. In the latter half of that decade is when horror started.
Are you fucking kidding me? I'm almost there. Almost.
And here it comes.
There it is.
Ooh. Hickey only has 150 here behind. Just calls.
Wow.
Just calls. So 200,000. Yep. I don't.
It is now.
Well, there's run number one. There's the second bullet. We have not seen run. Oh, there it is.
No,
the
it is
eight.
out already.
Yep.
Jeez.
There's the 8. So
Wow, that's rough. That's another.
yeah, so Hanks now, he's up to 531. So he just won another 220.
Yeah,
so
we're not
now,
putting it up. Yeah.
So now I think he's in for 600. So he's probably stuck 70,000 just like that.
How fast does that come back?
Stuck 450 to stuck 70.
Warning, if you're faint of heart or easily offended, this show is not for you.
Prop bets.
Sure.
I have done my research.
Okay.
I'm not going to talk about all your prop bets, but I would
There's
like.
many.
There isn't many. Okay, so you had one with Bill Perkins that you wouldn't ejaculate for a year. Want to tell us about that? I mean, I don't know, man. Do I just ask you or do I ask? All right, welcome to the Nick Bertucci Show. I am Nick Bertucci, and I am here. Tony, you made it.
I made it. Hour and a half of traffic. Well, my friend, there's 0% chance that we're back on time. In traffic, in LA traffic, Friday afternoon.
Well, you FaceTimed me and pitched. We both knew here.
I didn't bitch. I was just trying to show you what was happening around me. I was a complete stop on the 405 at South Mission Road.
What did I have?
Chicken tortillas. I wouldn't say it was square. I typically get chicken tortillas a lot closer to my house. But I'd have to pay for it, so there is that perk.
That's true. That's true. All right. Well, there's still a little bit left.
The gas costs more than the sewer.
You want gas?
No, know, but I'm
You
just
should maybe
saying
get
I
back.
could have stayed
Maybe you should
local.
get back into poker.
Too late for that.
Too late. Yeah, we're gonna talk about that.
Sure,
You
sure.
disappeared. You disappeared, kind of,
I
in the
did.
poker world.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, rest in peace. All right, this is painful for me because I don't like saying anything nice about you ever. But let's get your stats out of the way because I think, and tell me if there's anything I'm missing.
Sure.
Let me know.
I only know a couple of them.
All right.
Forget
So
the rest.
for WSOP, you have 3 bracelets.
Yes. Well, 2.5.
What does that mean?
One drop, 48 people.
We're gonna get to that.
We don't count it as
Well,
a full one.
so the third one of the bracelets, the one drop.
That's correct. Is that a troll or a needle or what you did?
No, I thought you had 3 bracelets and a one drop. I didn't know.
So
I didn't
then
know
wouldn't
there
that
was-
be 4? I mean, a
Yeah.
man of your stature
No, I
and
would-
success should know
Well,
that 3 plus 1 is 4.
I know. Do you have 4?
No.
You have 3.
I have
3. Okay. So you have 3
So therefore, it
bracelets.
should not be included in the count. That's all I'm saying.
Well, I said 3. You said 2.5. I'm going with 3.
Maybe
the one
the
drop's
joke
pretty
was
cool.
above your pay grade. I
One
would
drop's-
think that
the
you would
one
have got
drop's
it,
pretty
but
cool.
I'll
Alright.
bet you that most of the listeners got it.
You have 3 bracelets.
Yes. 2.5.
2.5. 10 final tables.
I have no idea.
That's what it says online.
Sure.
46 money finishes. WPT 2 titles, or is it 2.5?
No, it's 2.
2.
Yeah, you got that one right?
8 final tables. 16 money cashes. Again, the one drop, which is part of the 3 bracelets. You won 18 million.
18.3 something.
18,346.673.
Yes.
Oh, man, my stature research.
There you go.
I like them apples.
That was a
You
good
were
day.
the all-time winning player at the time until Daniel finished second in that same event, and then he passed you. That was also there. So
That was
did you
a
know
long-
that? That was a long time
Yeah,
ago.
I knew when it happened.
Yeah.
Now
when
I
it
have
happened.
no idea where I am.
No, because you're not in poker
I'm
anymore.
actually curious. I can't even.
I
I
don't
don't
know.
know. Not even in the top 10.
I have no clue.
Yeah, me
And we're going to talk about all that because
Who's number 1?
I don't know, but we're going to talk about that because back in your day, if you won a big tournament or maybe 2, it's a big deal. Today, it doesn't even put you on the map.
Yeah, and I think that was true starting many years ago.
Yeah, it's been a
When
while.
I first started playing poker, if you won a WPT,
Huge.
you were
Yeah.
overnight.
You're going to get
representation.
branded, everything.
Right.
Now it's
You know,
like
and if you won the main event, you're just that's it. Everybody's
It's over.
doing and whatnot. But these days,
no more.
no more.
Yeah, we're going to talk more about that later. Now on the one drop, what did you have of yourself?
I had somewhere between 1 and 100. You
Now,
can
come
ask
on,
my
man.
CPA. You can ask my father. I promise if they tell you, they'll probably tell you.
You won't.
That's correct. And I'm
Now-
assuming they probably won't either.
So you don't want
You can
anyone to know how much you have of yourself for personal reasons.
Well,
Who knows who could
I
be
just
listening?
feel like no one should ever know someone else's net worth.
Well, my next question would be, what's your net worth?
Somewhere between 0
In 100 million?
and I don't want to say the number.
Because then you'll know it's north of.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just trying to survive.
Yeah.
Tucci. I didn't have a real estate empire and
You're
have
just-
people pay me all sorts of money to listen to me speak. I had to go and play cards
Right.
and make a living. You know?
Right.
It's
So,
not easy out there.
so we're going to do a fluff piece then.
Okay.
Is that what we're doing?
No.
You don't want to answer tough questions, like good questions? This is what people
I've
want to know.
never answered the question ever.
You never have.
Never.
Okay. That's fair. All right.
But it
Uh,
was somewhere between 1 and 100. I promise you that.
That's very
I
good.
had more than 1%.
You did.
Yeah. And I
That's
had
good.
less than 100%.
It's fair. Did you have a tough time raising any investors?
Actually, no. Originally I was going to commentate for the event, and then a buddy of mine just messaged me and said, "Hey, are you going to play this event? I want to buy X%." And I said, "Well, if he wants to buy this, maybe I can sell off the rest that I need to and get him to start it." And I sent out one email to a bunch of people that I would play with.
Yeah.
And in a couple hours,
You were on your way.
I was actually oversold. I had to buy back a couple of points here and there after they had already committed, and they were cool about it. And of course, when I went on to win, they weren't so.
They
happy.
weren't so happy.
But they were still cool about it. They were happy for me because they were my friends.
That's good.
So
Wow.
it worked out.
Was that, out of everything you did, was that like the most exhilarating feeling? Was that your most precious bracelet? I know you didn't have to go through a lot of people. I get that.
No, look, the meaningfulness.
Yeah.
Probably not. I think my first WPT meant more because I went from 0 to having some money.
Yeah.
When I won the one drop, I had a little bit of money. Not to say that it didn't change my life, because it did, and
Yeah.
it was extremely beneficial for my life and my family and whatnot. But the impact that it had on my life, I think the WPT I won at 25 had more of an impact.
It had more of an impact.
It's a question that I few times where I've hung out with billionaires and I said, what meant more to you, your first million or your first billion?
First million.
You know, and it's almost always your first million,
Yeah.
right? Because when you kind of break through, and then after that, it's all gravy.
Yeah. Like maybe that's what I remember your first. I don't know. Who knows? That's most of
Great. I mean, no wonder you have this podcast. So this line of
I know, right?
That line was just.
Yeah.
You know, whoever's listening out there.
Do people
They should.
take the tortilla soup out of their teeth while they're doing the show?
Do I have to? Repeat?
No, I did it.
Oh.
Just now with the paper.
No, I like it.
Yeah.
I didn't know what you were doing.
We're keeping it real. All right. So you're an actor too,
No.
but you were in 3 films, or you just did? Are you not going to talk about that?
No. Sometimes my are making a movie or something.
You get
say,
part.
hey, do you want to be in this movie?
You have little parts in
I
movies.
say sure. I'm not gonna say no to being in a
Town
movie.
Outlaws, Runner, and The Grand.
Yeah.
Nice. What
If
kind
it
of parts
wasn't
were they?
for Runner, I would have never met my wife.
I thought you met your.
No, I would have never been with my wife.
Okay, because you met your wife at the first
We met at the World Series of Poker,
World Series of Poker.
and then she headed back to Miami, and I randomly got a call a couple of days later to go shoot this movie in Puerto Rico. And so I called her and I said, hey, can I see you in Miami on my way to Puerto Rico?
Nice.
Otherwise, I probably wouldn't have seen her.
You were interested in her when you first saw her? Was she not interested in you at first? But I'm saying, how did you meet her? Like, how did you know?
It's a very long story, but
Do you have an abridged version?
She's the most incredible girl
Yeah.
in existence, and she had a different trajectory in her life, and I
Yeah.
wasn't a part of that.
Right.
And things happened, and somehow we ended up together. But if it wasn't for the making of Runner, and
No
me
shit.
getting a call randomly to be in Puerto Rico on the day that I had
Your
to be
whole
there,
life would be different.
my whole life would be different.
Isn't that something?
So there you go.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, very
Whoever
cool.
that friend is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So you were born in Iran.
I was.
Tehran?
Yes.
How do you say it? Yeah. And when you came to America, you were how old?
8.
And it says here you didn't even speak English at all. There was no English at the time. You spoke Farsi.
That's correct.
And why did you change your name? You changed your name in the 1990 or 1990?
So when I was doing magic, I thought Antonio the Magician was a little more mystical than Amir the Magician.
Yeah.
And so I kind of went with Antonio.
How do you say it? Amir or how do you say
Amir.
it?
My name is Amir Allah Esfandiari.
Holy shit, nice. Okay. And when I did some research on you, even though we're friends, but I went and looked on a few things just because you're a diva, you didn't want to send me any information. It was hard enough to get you
Ask
here.
me for any information.
I did.
What do you mean?
I did. I said, send me like a bunch of talking points and stuff, and you answered something.
You're doing the interview. You have to do the work.
I
You want me
did.
to do the work?
No.
And drive 2 hours in traffic and set it all up for you? I mean,
I did it.
is this guy for real?
I did it. I did it. So, okay, the research I did, your dad left everything for you and your brother to come out here.
Correct.
Yeah.
If you left Iran at the time, they wouldn't allow you to take any wealth out. They want the wealth to stay.
Oh,
in
sure.
the country.
Yeah.
And so my dad was a very successful